Welcome back, Flossmass day 9. I am frozen. I feel so cold. I'm so tired. I was back at work today for the first day in like a week. And what a day. From students being unwell to a leaking shower to just trying to put up decorations ready for the Christmas party tomorrow. Everything felt like a hurdle after a hurdle after a hurdle. I'm still not 100% on form and I am knackered. So I'm going to be filming this. I'm not going to stitch tonight, so I haven't caught up on my sew. I will have to catch up tomorrow, but I just need to get into bed. I actually want to go have a nice, warm, relaxing bubble bath and then get into bed. But I was like, oh, maybe I just skip the video and I just go get nice and warm and then just go to bed, because I literally slept for about 4 hours last night. I don't know why, I just could not sleep. And I thought, no, because tomorrow is our Christmas party, so there is going to be no video. And I was like, I've got absolutely nothing to show you. I did receive my Coffee Crafts fabric order from the Super Sunday. So I thought you might want to see those. I haven't taken them out of the packaging, but I did manage to get an 18 count in this gorgeous green. It has got some variegation to it. I don't know if you can see that. You can probably just see the glare from the packaging. But yeah, so I've got an 18 count in that. And these are all 18 by 21 cuts of fabric. I got a 16 count in this mottled dark grey and black. There is like some parts which look more purple. So I've got a 16 count of that. I prefer an 18 or a 20 count, but the thing is, I thought for a 16 count this could be quite good for like ornaments or whatever. I don't mind stitching on 16, it's just not my favourite. I got this gorgeous pale blue, and I love this part here where you can see there's like a white area there. It kind of looks like a tulip, like if I turn it that way. But yeah, so I got this one in a 20 count. I literally I was actually really late the Super Sunday. I actually just went on the evening and just had a look at what she had left. So, and then I got a 32 count in this minty blue colour, 32 count even weave. And this is an 18 by 27 cut fabric, so that's the only one that is different. So I got 3 Adas, and you can see hopefully the difference here. Like I've got a proper blue and a minty blue, and then that is the green. But yes, so those are my new fabrics to go into my stash. I really don't need to be ordering any more fabric. Is that going to stop me? Probably not. So let's open my advent. So day 9. And I think it's going to be a thread from the feel of it. It is. We've got 2 weeks dye works. Let me untangle them. We have got Weeks Dye Works Oscar, which is the gorgeous green, like darker green. I do love Oscar. I use Oscar quite a lot, and it is called for in quite a lot of patterns as well. And then Weeks Dye Works Olive, which is a lighter. So those are the 2 together. Olive is this lighter one, Oscar's the darker one. So I've got 2 Weeks Dye Works to add to my stash. We're getting a lot of cool things in this advent calendar. Definitely do like this. Day 10. So as I said, I am going to be including day 10, even though I've got nothing to talk about from day 10. But because I just know I'm not going to be back in time tomorrow to film anything. So we have, I think the choices we could pick was Ada or even weave. Now, I ended up going with Ada because I was like, I don't mind stitching on any count. Like, I'm not a huge fan of 14 count, but I will use 14 count, or I will stitch over 2 and make it a 7 count and stitch like for my jumper technique and stuff. So rather than even weave, I don't mind stitching on a 32, but 36 and 40 count, I really have to be in the phase to stitch on those, which I know I wasn't. Oh, we've got a coffee cross fabric, 16 count Ada, and it's an 18 by 21 count, dyed specifically for Corey's little shop. So that is a gorgeous blue. If I just hold that up against the blue that I ordered, the 20 count, you can see it's a lot lighter of a blue. This is a blue and a purple mix, and then that is the blue colour that I ordered, and that is my even weave. So you can see like it's definitely a lot bluer, but that's really cool. So we've got one that's been dyed. This definitely is a Coffee Crafts fabric has taken over, hasn't it, from this? But that is really cool. I do like that. So more fabric to go in my stash, and I'm quite glad that I did go for that. So yeah, that is everything I have. Thank you so much for your Christmas movie recommendations. I haven't had a chance to really watch any yet, but I break up from term on Saturday evening. So Saturday evening is my... So I have been starting to think about New Year, because I have been wondering what I'm going to do for January. Now, I'm not really going to do challenges. I am considering Whip Go, but I feel like I have more thing kitted up, waited to start, than I actually have whips. But I will do a whip video at some point in Flossmass. It probably won't be until next week though, just because of the time it takes to film one of those videos. I'm work all day, and unlike my previous jobs where I did work until later, I worked until 11 p.m. However, I would have an hour off during the day, so it was quite easy to get a video filmed during the day, edit it in a low point of work, and then upload it, or edit it during my break if the video wasn't that long, and do that. Whereas I am technically finished at 7. However, I didn't get back to mine tonight until 8 p.m, which is why this video is so late up. Then by the time that I had something to eat, and I really have no energy to stitch, even though you will see down below I have, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to put part 9, I'm just going to put part 10, because part 10 will show you part 9. Part 9 is a teeny tiny bobbin. I could probably stitch that in 20 minutes. But do I want a nice warm bubble bath, or do I want to stitch? And to be honest, I am freezing, so the bubble bath is winning at the moment. So what you'll find is down below it will say part 10 on the download, but you'll see you have part 9, because someone asked me this, why, like if they have just joined Flossmass now, which welcome, thank you for joining, are you able to get the other parts? Yes, they are all attached to every video. However, if you join today's video, you will see part 10 on that download for part 10, whether you do the multi-page or the single page download, it will have all of the parts, because that way you can see where to stitch. So if you don't want to stitch the thing until the very end, don't feel like you have to download each part. You can wait until the last final part comes out and then download the whole chart. That is entirely up to you, or you can download each part if you want to make it your own stitch along. But as I said, some parts are a lot bigger, so yesterday's part actually didn't take too long. It looks like it's a lot more stitch than it is. The spool has been probably the second biggest element, so the border was the biggest one. It's a straight line border, it's very easy to count, so don't let that put you off. The spool is so easy, and I should really have my piece to show you, but I have a feeling it is in my work bag, which is all the way back there, and I just don't have the energy to get it, so I do apologise. But you'll see some areas of it are so quick to stitch, it could probably take you about 20 minutes. Other areas may take you an hour or so. So the whole point of it is, so if you do fall behind, like I'm not stitching part 9 today on day 9, but tomorrow evening when I get back from work, even though I'm going to get back late, I'm not filming a video tomorrow, so I don't need to worry about finding my advent and finding something to show or talk about. It is literally just stitch. So I could probably stitch part 9 and part 10 tomorrow evening and be caught up. So I'm not worried about it. It's not something to worry about. But as I was saying, plans for next year, I am considering doing WhipGo. I am considering doing a games challenge board, but I don't want to do Monopoly like they do. I might do a Monopoly style setup, but for me personally, where I just roll a dice, and I have it in my planner and I just work my way around the board, and maybe things like that. That could be something that I'm looking into, because I don't want to be so rigid, because that's why I think WhipGo's not worked for me, is because I feel like I don't want to stitch on that. So what I'm going to do is, rather than pick actual whips that I have, I'm going to go through my whips and say, okay, it's going to be pick a seasonal whip and stitch 200 stitches. Because if I'm away on holiday, which I do for the summer, I do go away and things like that, I don't carry all my whips with me, and then I get so downhearted that I haven't stitched anything or done my whip go challenge that I then just give up. So I think I might look at doing it maybe a little bit more open, so going through my whips. So the aim is still to work on my whips. However, if I don't have something, I could start something to go with that theme. But I want to go through all my whips and say, okay, stitch on a project that has more than 5 colours, stitch on a monochromatic project, stitch on a project where I use fancy threads. So I could still incorporate that, because all of that I think is still working from my stash. I am going to go back to doing stitch from stash. I have so many fabrics and threads that I just would like to start stitching and actually get some things done. This year I won't be filming a finish parade, just because I have no idea what I finished. I haven't kept up with Flosstube, which I've explained the reasons why. It has been a busy year. I've left 2 jobs, started 2 jobs. So I left a job end of December, started a new job in January, left that job end of summer with everything going on over the summer, then started a new job here. So next year is going to be a better year. But I do want to do stitch from stash, because that really did motivate me to get small finishes done and get things moving along. But yeah, I'm going to have a look round and see if there are any other challenges that I feel like doing, but maybe adapting them to work for me. So not necessarily something that I have to post. I'll post it on Flossmass, but not something that I need to be up to date onto like a stream or another platform and just make sure I keep going. I just want to be stitching for me, and I will be creating my stitch journal that I'll probably do a flip through. I haven't set it up or created it yet, so I'll probably do a video flip through of what my stitch journal is going to look like, because that kept me on track. Because even if I wasn't stitching, I could see what I had stitched, but I honestly have no clue, and I really don't want to be going looking in boxes and all the places where I have finished stitching to try and work out what I actually stitched this year. So I'm just going to knock it on the head. There isn't going to be a finished parade. Most things I have shown you, if not, they'll pop up in future videos. But yeah, so that is pretty much it. I have rambled on, so I am going to go and run a nice hot bath and just chill. Might watch a Flosstube if I have the energy. and just catch up on things. But that is me done. Thank you so much for watching this very rambly video, and I will see you all not tomorrow, so in the day after, whatever day it's Friday. It's going to be a busy day for me Friday. Most of my girls are leaving for the Christmas holiday. I will have some in-house on Saturday, but we will see and go from there. But I am heading off now. Let me know, do you do any stitching challenges? Do you do whip go? Do you do any others? I would love to know, because as I said, that's something that I want to look into for next year. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Happy stitching, and I'll see you all soon. Bye guys!